Hi, this is Jason Radford, and today I'm going to walk you through our pre-post test template. And this template is meant to allow you to ask a survey, randomize some stimulus, and then test the effects of that randomization with a follow-up survey. Uh, this is a part of our SAGE Experiments pilot project. If there's any feedback that you have about how to make this better, other experiments you want us to support, please let us know by filling out our short survey here on the front. This is the best way to give us your feedback and help us improve this project. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to do my 567 thing here. Sign in. As you can see, I have the templates here to start with. I've already created some studies here on this tab. I'm going to go back here, and we're going to use the pre-post test for today. We're going to make this about who's right. This is the Reddit. Was I right? Was I wrong? Or who's likely to have been at fault? So let's say responsibility pre-post. Sure. So what I'm going to do here for this one is I'm going to set up a brief survey at the beginning to see what kinds of people are participating. I'm going to give them some stimuli where I say, David called Anna a name. Anna hit David. I've got kids, so we're gonna pretend like these are children fighting. So who is at fault? Is David more fault than Anna, or is Anna more fault than Dave, or both? So that gives you a sense of what the pre-test, post-test study is about. There's more information here in the About page. Lots of examples. Really is here to help guide you in designing and creating your own study. But here we're going to talk about the nuts and bolts. So to actually get into this, we're going to go to the Configure tab. This is where we're going to create our 3 pages, right? Page 1 says first survey. Page 2 is the random stimulus. Page 3 is the post-test survey. And we have a couple of survey type options. So we're going to first start with a multiple choice. So let's say we'll do a gender question. So this is going to be a responsibilities study, and maybe we're going to hypothesize that people are more likely to assign blame to the male child than the female child, the girl child and boy child. So let's do what is your gender? Man, woman, trans, and other. Transgender and other. Okay. Here we can add more choices if we want. If we want to move other up, we can do up, up, up. Start with other. And then here we select how many boxes they can click. Minimum, they have to select 1. Maximum, they can select up to 1. So if we do more than 1 maximum, that goes from being a radio to a checkbox. All right, so that's first multiple choice. Let me see if I can add a new kind of question type. Matrix table. Show you what the matrix table looks like. So add a row, add a column. Let's see. The best example of this is never, sometimes, often, always. So these kind of Likert scales are really great for these matrix boxes. I get into fights. Right, so we're talking about fights and arguments. I get into arguments. We'll do arguments. Fights is maybe taken as like physical fights. I get into arguments. I handle disagreements peaceably. So maybe what we want to do here is we want to get a sense of how people handle conflict. Maybe the way that they handle conflict affects the way that they interpret who's responsible for this fight. Okay, so let's delete this multiple choice question. Again, we gave you some examples here just to get you started. Prompt. Sorry, prompt is just an open text box. Please fill out this survey. this should go. Use this green button to drag questions up to the top. Come on. Come on. Here, that may be easier to drag. Oh, there it is. Okay, so it actually did work. Cool. Oh, I dragged my matrix table. So the first thing that people are going to see is in the instructions. Please fill out the survey. It will take approximately 2 minutes. Fill out the survey. Read the vignette. Then take a final survey. There we go. So this is page 1. Everybody starts on page 1. They get all of these questions. Page 2, you can add questions or stimuli, or sorry, questions, prompts, matrix tables, whatever you want. But what you're looking for here is a randomization. So you want to do a randomize. This is a randomized block. And you add questions within that block. And what's going to happen is when this particular page loads, we're going to choose one of whatever is in here. So it can be stimulus question, this text box, or it can be a multiple choice question. It's sort of up to you. And we're adding more options here, but for now, the easiest thing to do is you have these little text boxes for putting in vignettes or stories or other kinds of descriptions. So let's say we'll start with the story. Mary is 5 years old. Her older brother Michael stole her car. Her little car. Mary hit Michael in response. Spell response. Cool. So that's my little story. I want to say who's more responsible for this. Her 7-year-old. There we go. Let's do. 10-year-old brother Michael. 10-year-old knows better. This is interesting. Her 3-year-old. 3-year-old. So this is cool. Now this is going to be gender and age. So her 3-year-old brother Michael stole her car. Mary hit Michael in response. All right, so let's do this. Mary is 5. Her 3-year-old. Here we go. Michael is 5 years old. His 3-year-old sister, Mary, stole his car. Michael hit Mary in response. So what we're doing here is we are varying both the gender of the participants here. So Michael is the one who has his car stolen in one example. It's going to be 2. Michael's 5, his 10-year-old sister. Mary stole his car. 3-year-old. There we go. Very old. All right, great. So then we have 4 versions. One where it's Michael who has his car stolen. 2 where Mary has her car stolen. And then 2 where the stealer is 3, and 2 where the stealer is 10. And what we're going to see, so what's going to happen is when people take this, they'll only see one of these. And then they're going to get these questions. So let me go ahead. I'm going to clear this out. So let's do a multiple choice question. I want to see who is more at fault. Michael or Mary? This is all the question I want to ask. Who do people think is more at fault? Michael or Mary? Max selection is definitely 1. You can only select 1, please. Okay. That's going to be our experiment. And the analysis at the end is going to be, do we think that age matters more or gender matters more? My assumption is that we're going to hold the 10-year-old more responsible than we will hold a 3-year-old, and more than we'll hold a 5-year-old. But we'll hold a 5-year-old more responsible than a 3-year-old. regardless of who actually stole the car. But we'll also probably find a gender effect. So I actually don't know which direction it would go. I would blame the Mary more if she steals the car from Michael, or if we'll blame Michael more often if Michael is the one that steals the car from Mary. I don't have a good theory about that. But it's a cool study, and now we can actually launch a preview of it. So as a PI, making sure that it works the way we think that it works. We go to the Launch tab, click the Preview button, and it's going to load the survey. Oh, I forgot to save. I did all that work on the survey, and I forgot to save. So if you'll notice, there's a save button at the bottom. Don't forget to press the save button. All right, so what is your gender? Man, I can't tap. Transgender, other. Select one. I forgot the other options. We'll leave it for now. 2. All right, now we'll just go short. Mary steals from Paul. Michael. Hits Mary. For the sake of the demo, we're just going to be brief in recreating it. Michael steals from Mary. Mary hits Michael. Capital M. All right, now this is only two oh, I can't delete this third one, so I have to reset it. This will be a good example. Randomize. Add a prompt. Mary steals from Michael. Michael hits Mary. Actually, I do have a theory on this one because people are more likely to hold men accountable for physical violence. So you say Michael should never hit Mary, so Michael is responsible. Michael steals from Mary. Mary hits Michael. Again, the world is your oyster here with these experiments. The powerful thing about pre-post tests with vignettes is you can create whatever world you want and see how people respond. Now, of course, there are limits to how, I click the save button, there are limits to how realistic you can make this. I think that's one of the big sort of caveats of using text-based vignettes. But I think you have to understand that most people experience the world through text, right? We read it on news, we see videos on Facebook. We're not there in person, right? We just experience things in this very slimmed down way. And we make judgments of the world, of others based on that. So who is... Oh, here we go. Who is more, who's at fault? I was going to say who's more aggressive, but the question I really want to ask is who do people hold responsible for the situation? Michael, Mary, max selections, definitely one. And save. Oops, right. Save is done. Now we can launch. All right, so, next page. Mary steals from Michael. Michael hits Mary. Who's at fault? I'd say Mary. She's the one who started it. Maybe people will say something different. All right, been playing for a while. All right, complete survey. I'm done. Because I'm testing, I can click this More Games button here to go back for my test. So now I know it works. Voila! Now I can do a launch preview again to make sure that people see the other stimuli. Because I've already screwed it up once, I'm not going to go through and do that for this one. But now this join category link here is shareable, it's public, anybody anywhere in the world can take it. So you can come in here, this is what they will experience. So, man, Mary steals from Michael. Michael hits Mary. Mary's responsible again. I should just be. Here we go. This actually should automatically complete, but that's okay. More games. And now I'm done. As a participant, I'm done. As the researcher, now I've run my preview example, and I've had one person take the study. So I'm going to go export the data. I'll select my times and make sure that the date range includes the data that I care about. Can't leave that blank. Here we go. I forgot to change the text at the top. Hey, what's going on here? So here's the question ID 123. What's your gender? I answered man. Question ID ASIC. Oh, this is the stimulus. So I get to see the stimulus that was chosen was Mary steals from Michael. Michael hits Mary. This is the one where I pretended to be a real person. Again, of course I answered and got the same thing. I said the same answer, so you'd never know that I was actually two separate people. But that's another story. Anyway, so now you see both how to create the experiment, how to test it through the launch system, how to go back and fix it when you realize you screwed something up, and then of course how to share the public link and grab data that's been created. All right, with that, if you have any questions or any issues with this particular study, please send us an email at support@volunteerscience.com. If you have any feedback on the system overall, or you have suggestions or recommendations for things we should add, please again fill out that survey on our landing page. It's really going to help us improve this product. All right, thank you so much and enjoy the rest of your day.